Something's happening in Pittsburgh, and Mike Tomlin just made it clear. After Aaron Rodgers' worst game of the season, everyone expected a benching or a breakdown. Instead, Tomlin dropped a statement that stunned fans, players, and the league. What he said about Rodgers left everyone asking, is this loyalty or denial?
We as an offensive collective were off today, and certainly he's a component of that. I'll let him speak for himself, but we certainly got to be better. Didn't feel like they did anything unanticipated, but certainly they outperformed us, particularly in possession down play.
Mike Tomlin declared that he has no long-term concerns about Aaron Rodgers' ability to play quarterback at a high level, despite the veteran's dismal showing against the Chargers. Sunday night was what it was, Tomlin said, but I have no long-term reservations about his ability to play the position and play the position at a high level for us. The statement represented a firm endorsement of Rodgers, following one of the worst performances of his 21-year career. Rodgers completed just 16 of 31 passes for 161 yards with a touchdown in garbage time and 2 interceptions in the 25-10 defeat at SoFi Stadium on November 9th. One interception smacked off the hands of wide receiver Calvin Austin III. Rodgers was also sacked for a safety when Khalil Mack forced a fumble that the quarterback recovered in his own end zone. The 50.6 passer rating marked the lowest of his first season with Pittsburgh. The performance raised questions about whether the NFL's oldest active player still possesses the physical tools to compete effectively. Rodgers missed a streaking DK Metcalf in the first quarter for what would have been a touchdown, overthrowing the 6'4" wide receiver by approximately 5 yards. His vaunted accuracy abandoned him throughout the night. More concerning was his lack of feel inside the pocket, a skill that has defined his career longevity. Rodgers stumbled trying to escape pressure from Mack in the first quarter, bobbled the ball, and fell on it in the end zone for a safety. I should have just thrown the ball at someone's feet there, Rodgers stated. After the game, the quarterback admitted he was just a little bit off following the performance. The safety gave Los Angeles a 2-0 lead and set the tone for Pittsburgh's offensive struggles throughout the contest. Tomlin credited the Chargers for getting the better of his offense, but rejected suggestions that the unit has become too predictable. The Steelers have finished with under 300 total yards for 3 straight weeks. Entering the Cincinnati game, Pittsburgh has not topped 300 yards in a game in going on a month. The offensive struggles have coincided with the team's recent slide in the standings. The head coach pointed to an inability to extend drives on third downs as the primary culprit. Pittsburgh has converted just 36% of its third downs on the season. The Steelers have converted only 21% over the last 3 weeks, managing just 7 of 33 third down attempts. Tomlin put the onus on his coaching staff to find ways to make opponents pay for double-teaming Metcalf, who has just 10 catches for 96 yards over the last 3 games. We haven't done a good enough job of putting others other than DK in position to win and win big, and they haven't won big enough, Tomlin stated. We've got to do a better job there. The Steelers declined to make a significant trade to upgrade the receiving core behind Metcalf. At the deadline, Pittsburgh opted instead to hold on to significant draft capital. The club did sign 2-time Super Bowl winner Marquez Valdes-Scantling to the practice squad last week. Tomlin did not rule out the possibility of Valdes-Scantling working his way onto the active roster when Cincinnati visits Acrisure Stadium. The Steelers need to create more big plays according to their head coach. Pittsburgh only has a handful of pass receptions that have gone for more than 40 yards this season. All but one of those plays came on receptions where most of the yardage came after the catch.
Guys, like you 0 for 9 or 10 on third down, you're not going to have enough snaps. Like, we've been over that discussion a lot.
In Week 10's Sunday night game, the Pittsburgh Steelers, led by Mike Tomlin, took a tough 25-10 loss to the Los Angeles Chargers. But what happened after the game shocked everyone even more. Coach Tomlin said something about rookie Ladd McConkey that no one expected. The offense struggled to convert, and the Chargers controlled both tempo and territory. Amid that backdrop of frustration and technical failure, Mike Tomlin's post-game comments took on heightened significance. In front of media, he singled out McConkey indirectly with these words. McConkey caught 4 passes. Certainly that last one was the biggest, but that wasn't the reason we lost this football game, he said. The remark ignited debate among fans who viewed it as a rare public critique of a young player. This shift from broad team accountability to direct individual mention gives the moment its weight. The question becomes, was Tomlin using McConkey's catch as a metaphorical fault line, or was he explicitly eyeing the rookie's role in this collapse? The defensive issues were clear and quantifiable. According to multiple post-game reports, the Steelers converted only 2 of 11 third-down opportunities against the Chargers. Pittsburgh's offense mustered just 221 total yards and scored a lone touchdown with less than 3 minutes remaining, effectively garbage time. The defense, meanwhile, allowed multiple long completions and failed to halt momentum when it counted most. Directly enabled Chargers to force 12 missed tackles themselves and rack up yards after contact. That kind of breakdown in fundamental play undermines any attempt to rally. Tomlin addressed the issue bluntly. You're not going to win football games by not converting third down and losing the turnover battle, he said. We were certainly loose with the ball on several instances and didn't convert enough third downs. And so that's the end result. The coach's tone turned pointed. It's rare for Tomlin to attach such a direct statistical arc to a post-game evaluation. McConkey's target late in the fourth quarter became the focal point. On a 3rd and 6 with 11 minutes remaining, Chargers quarterback Justin Herbert delivered a precise strike to McConkey that kept the drive alive and extinguished any remaining hope for Pittsburgh. The Yardbarker account noted, that single perfectly timed throw to McConkey essentially sealed the contest. In the post-game press conference, Tomlin downplayed the significance of the play itself while acknowledging McConkey's role. That wasn't the reason we lost this football game, he emphasized. The apparent duality, acknowledging McConkey's impact but denying the loss hinged on it, struck fans as both unusual and provocative. Tomlin's decision to publicly reference McConkey, a rookie, transitions the narrative from collective failure to an individual underpinning. That kind of explicit mention in a high-stakes primetime game carries layers of meaning in a franchise culture that typically shields younger players. McConkey finished with 4 receptions, including the decisive one, yet Pittsburgh's multi-layered breakdown still rests at root on scheme, execution, and fundamentals. Quarterback Aaron Rodgers joined the Steelers on a 1-year deal worth $13.65 million in June 2025. On the Pat McAfee show, he said, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is it. That's why we just did a 1-year deal." The 41-year-old commented that the season would be his final one. Rodgers' performance against the Chargers did not match benchmark standards. He completed 16 of 31 passes for 161 yards, threw 2 interceptions, and posted a passer rating that ranks among the worst of his Steelers tenure. The context of retirement whispers only compounds the scrutiny. Beyond the numbers, the narrative around Rodgers' final season magnifies the weight of any collapse. With his career winding toward its end and the Steelers placing faith in him as a transitional leader, a night like this becomes more than a loss. It becomes a potential career-defining blemish. Pittsburgh walked away from Los Angeles with a 5-4 record, a position that no longer feels secure in the AFC North race. The Baltimore Ravens, sitting at 6-2, have cut deeply into what was once the Steelers' comfortable lead. Cincinnati may still trail, but the Bengals' offense is improving, and Cleveland remains a spoiler in divisional play. The 25-10 loss to the Chargers did more than change the standings. It exposed how thin Pittsburgh's margin for error has become. The Steelers have now dropped 3 of their last 4 games after opening the season 4-1, marking their most uneven stretch since 2021. Mike Tomlin has repeated the word collective in each of his last 2 post-game press conferences, emphasizing that the failures are shared across offense, defense, and special teams. The Steelers converted only 18% of their third down attempts in Week 10, ranking near the bottom of the league over the last month. Their red zone touchdown percentage has also fallen below 45%, well short of the NFL average. Tomlin's insistence on a collective standard reflects a broader sense of pressure building around the organization, pressure that extends from the locker room to the front office. In the offseason, the Steelers made a high-risk, short-term investment in quarterback Aaron Rodgers, signing the 4-time MVP to a 1-year deal worth roughly $13.6 million. The move was designed to make Pittsburgh competitive immediately rather than rebuild behind a young passer. To clear space and shift cap priorities, the team traded away a developing receiver earlier in the year, signaling full commitment to the Rodgers-led offense. That gamble has yet to pay off. Rodgers' 2025 numbers now include a passer rating below 80, a 9 touchdown to 8 interception ratio, and the fewest passing yards through 9 games of any season in his career as a starter. Tomlin's public remarks on rookie receiver Ladd McConkey should be viewed through that lens. They arrived at a time when the organization's short-term push is showing cracks. The head coach's tone suggested more than frustration. It underscored how individual accountability is now being tied directly to Pittsburgh's attempt to stay relevant in a tightening playoff race. McConkey's late-game catch for the Chargers sealed the Steelers' defeat, and Tomlin's reference to it. Since taking over in 2007, Tomlin has never finished a season below .500, an active streak of 17 years that stands as the longest among current NFL coaches. That record of consistency makes moments like this one stand out. A rare public critique of a rookie, following a primetime defeat and with the franchise facing offensive stagnation, becomes more than just a quote, it signals tension beneath the surface. Rodgers' looming retirement further magnifies that tension. At 41, he has already stated this is his final season, and each game now carries the weight of finality. His struggles against Los Angeles, 2 interceptions, 1 safety, and a season-low 50.6 rating have reignited debate about whether the Steelers' bet on veteran leadership came too late.
Yeah, we weren't getting guys open and just put it all together, you know. Times that guys were open, I missed some throws I usually make.
Aaron Rodgers looked nothing like a 4-time MVP. His passes sailed, his pocket collapsed, and his confidence vanished. What happened in Los Angeles wasn't just a bad game. It might have been the end of an era.
A lot of stuff wasn't working. You know, we were bad on 3rd down. I was just a little bit off. You know, I missed DK early. Could have been a big play, a little high to Jono. But yeah, we didn't run the ball super effectively in the first half. I missed, obviously, some throws for sure.
The Pittsburgh Steelers lost 25-10 to the Los Angeles Chargers on Sunday Night Football in Week 10 of the 2025 NFL season. Aaron Rodgers finished 16 of 31, passing for 161 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, and a safety. He was sacked 3 times. His passer rating marked the lowest of his first season with Pittsburgh. The yardage total represented his second lowest output of the year, after throwing for 139 yards against New England on September 21st. The Steelers' offense totaled just 221 yards, with 65 coming on the final drive when the game was already decided. Pittsburgh scored only 3 points before the 4th quarter, managing a 59-yard field goal from Chris Boswell in the 1st quarter. The offense failed to score a touchdown until Roman Wilson caught a 27-yard pass from Rodgers with 2 minutes, 57 seconds remaining. The Chargers' defense dominated throughout, keeping Rodgers uncomfortable in the pocket and forcing multiple errant throws. Rodgers took a safety on the Steelers' 3rd drive of the game when he fumbled, fell on the ball in the end zone, and was tackled by Khalil Mack. The play gave Los Angeles a 2-0 lead and set the tone for Pittsburgh's offensive struggles. Film review showed tight end Pat Freiermuth open on a shallow dig route, but Rodgers did not see him before being pressured into the end zone. The first touchdown of the game came after Rodgers threw an interception to Chargers rookie safety R.J. Mickens in the 2nd quarter. The turnover marked his 6th interception of the season. Los Angeles quarterback Justin Herbert then connected with Ladd McConkey for a 15-yard touchdown pass, extending the Chargers' lead to 12-3 late in the 2nd quarter. Rodgers threw a 2nd interception in the 3rd quarter when a pass intended for Calvin Austin went off the receiver's hands and into the waiting arms of former Steelers cornerback Dante Jackson. The Steelers converted just 2 of 11 3rd down attempts against the Chargers. Pittsburgh entered the week ranking 26th in 3rd down offense and dropped to 31st over the last 3 games. The inability to sustain drives prevented the offense from establishing any rhythm throughout the contest. Rodgers airmailed several passes and overshot open receivers on multiple occasions, including DK Metcalf, who got behind the defense but could not connect with an overthrown ball. Rodgers finished the game with an EPA, expected points added per play, of -0.50, according to RBSDM stats. The negative efficiency rating reflected how his performance actively hurt the team's scoring chances. He missed tight end Jonnu Smith on the second drive, overshooting him on a throw that would have moved the chains and set up the Steelers deep in the red zone. The incompletion forced Pittsburgh to settle for a field goal attempt. The quarterback exhibited happy feet in the pocket throughout the night, drifting backward into pressure on multiple sacks. Of the 3 sacks Rodgers took, film analysis suggested he either stepped up or drifted back into the rush on all of them. His pocket presence, typically a strength throughout his career, deteriorated as the Chargers' defense applied consistent pressure. Rodgers appeared uncomfortable and nervous, according to multiple observers, a departure from his normally composed demeanor. McCoy had previously called for Rodgers to retire in February 2025 after the New York Jets released him.